Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. I hope everybody's doing well. Wait, I believe everybody's doing well. I have faith everybody's doing well, and everything is unfolding perfectly. I'm excited yet again because I have another extraordinary guest, Cindy St Martine, and I wanted to make sure that I said that correctly. So Cindy St Martine. Wow. But before she talks to us, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. Okay? Listen up. You don't want to miss any of this. Cindy St Martine is profoundly clairvoyant, which means clear seeing. Clairaudience, which means clear hearing. Clairsentience. How do I say that again?
Sentience.
Sentience, which is clear feeling, and claircognizance is clear knowing. Wow. Those words, besides clairvoyance, are all new to me. So I'm so interested into getting in that. Also, she's able to connect clearly with angels, love, and loved ones who have passed. Yes, she can communicate with our loving God and the divine. Cindy has discovered and recognizes she discovered these gifts when she was very young, as a teenager, and having been using and practicing them since. That's awesome. How are you doing today, Cindy?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you, Luke. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. I appreciate that very much. But awesome. in reality, the four clairs, everybody has it.
Right.
It's just that everybody's able to, to hear, see, feel, we all have that. But some of us are more in tune to it than others.
That's what I was going to say. It's about tuning into it and being aware and knowing. Yes. But I was going to ask you, how did you know that you had this gift since a teenager? I mean, what things were occurring to you, and how did you know exactly what it was at that time?
Well, what happened was, I was able to see people who have already crossed over and passed, and they would talk to me. And also I would just know things, and I knew there was a higher power. So what I did was, I was brought up as a good Catholic girl. And then I'm not putting religion down, not at all, but I'm spiritual. Right. So I spent many years going from the Catholic religion to Protestant religions, just going from church to see what made sense to me. And then I kept seeing numbers in multiples, like 111 or 1111, like the clock. I would wake up or just look at it just at that time, or 444. And that brought my curiosity up. So I did some research on that, and I found out that these are the angels talking to you. Right. So I went ahead and got certification in angel therapy, and I did tarot cards from teenager too. So these are things that are always prove positive and truth when I did them to other people, and they still do today. So I never doubt the cards. I work with the angels and archangels and the ascended masters, so they're very important in my spirituality. This isn't like black magic or voodoo or anything like that, but in reality, it really doesn't exist. The fact being the clairs is that we have to realize the difference between ego and the divine. An ego, EGO, stands for edging God out. And it's everything that's negative. It's worry, it's fear, it's doubt, lacking courage, lacking confidence, complaining, blaming, arguing. All that's ego. Right. And that's a choice. Ego's a choice.
Absolutely.
But and the only thing that's real is love. That's the only thing that's real. Because God, whatever people believe in, the universe, whatever, I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything, but the only thing that's absolutely real is love. And God is 100% unconditional love.
Love, right?
He's totally egoless. So so when we disconnect from our purpose and who we really, really are, which is love, then we disconnect, then we suffer.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. I totally agree. And as I've been maturing in my journey, I am realizing that, and that's being affirmed to me yet again, coming from you. So
Right.
that totally resonates with me. It's
Right.
it's as simple and as complicated as love. That's it.
Right. It's so simple, and people make it very difficult. Well, we're conditioned to worry. We're conditioned to fear. We're conditioned to have all these ego feelings and thoughts and things like that. But we have to remember that whatever we think, say, or do out to the universe comes back to us.
Right.
It's our law of attraction. It's karma. So if you're in a negative state, if you're negative thoughts, like I have people say, this always happens to me. So I say, well, stop saying it always happens to you. Stop
Otherwise, that's
thinking.
what you're creating.
That's what you're creating. You're creating this.
Then it's always going to happen to you.
Exactly right. And people don't realize that they're the ones, people say, oh, I don't have any money. I'm poor. I can't pay my bills. I can't do this. I say, stop saying that. Stop thinking that, because you're blocking your abundance. Absolutely. We're all meant to be happy, but happiness is a choice. Everything is a choice. Right. And so what happens, people don't realize that they create their whatever's happening in their life, it's their own creation. And then if something like so-called terrible happens in people's lives, it's because the universe or God is shaking you up, telling you, you're not supposed to be doing this, and you're not listening to me.
Right.
So then it blows up. So I tell people, when something blows up in your life, something that you think is tragic or terrible is actually a blessing, because you're not supposed to be there.
Right.
You're supposed to take a different route and have faith or whatever. Like people talk about a breakup of a relationship. I go, that's a blessing. That's not the right person for you.
Right.
You can just handle it. Yeah.
And many times, if you really think about it and relax and go with the flow, you'll realize that oftentimes when these things happen, when these doors close, some better doors open up.
Absolutely.
And they always do. They always do.
Always
unless you're not looking for another door, unless you're focused on the door that closed and complaining about that, then like you said, you're going to block your blessings.
Yeah, or you're too busy looking at that closed door and not looking at the door that's opened.
Right. Yes.
No, because it's always there. I tell people, everything you want is right in front of you, but everybody's too busy looking out in the distance for their magic or whatever, but everything is right there in front of you.
Right.
No,
focusing on the wrong thing.
On the wrong thing instead of what's really, really important. And this happens like all the time. And once somebody gets it and understands this, I always hear, why didn't I think about this a long time ago? Why didn't I do this a long time ago? Because when people come to me, the most things are relationships, money, and their kids.
Right.
Their adult kids are, not talking to them, or you'd be surprised how much this happens,
Oh, yes.
And they don't have any reason, and the poor parents are suffering. And I says, let them be.
Right. There you go.
If you love them enough, and if you really love them, let them be. Stop chasing after them and let them
learn. Let life, let their path unfold, and eventually, things are happening exactly the way they're supposed to.
Exactly right.
Now,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, when you're sharing all this wonderful insight, in which a lot of it I resonate with, because I've became aware of a lot of what you're saying. How did you come up, with this knowledge and information? Did that come to you at a young age too, or?
No, it did, but I wasn't paying attention to it. Right. Because I was married twice before. Right. The first one was an abusive marriage, and I had 4 children with that person. And then my second marriage ended on a friendly basis. We just knew that it wasn't working. What wasn't working. And and I look at them as great experiences. Like even my first marriage, I I went through a lot of heartache and all at that time, but I don't even think about it now because it's
Right.
not in my life. It's not an over. I don't even think about it. I don't wish him anything bad. I just don't think about it,
That's a good place to
and
be.
yeah, it
Commend
just
you on that. Yes.
doesn't hang on me, doesn't weigh me down. Anything that happened yesterday, I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm just going to try and live in the moment, because again, what we think, say, and do out to the universe comes back to us. And we have to be
Right.
mindful of the thoughts, what we're saying, what we're doing right now, because
Right.
it's creating, you know,
Yes.
what's to come later on. So I'm not going back to tomorrow. I'm not going back 10 years. I'm not going back 50 years. I'm just not going to go back that far back. So I'm just going to try and stay where I am. It takes practice.
It does. It does. It does. Especially if, like you said, we've been programmed a certain way for a better part of our lives to think a certain way.
Right.
And even though we know better now, like you're aware and awake to that, to
Right.
those things that a lot of people still aren't aware of. And
Right.
even though you're aware, it's still, to eradicate those past patterns and mindsets, it takes work.
It
Does.
takes work. And I still do today. Every morning I say, God, take my ego today. I don't want it. I just surrender
Wow.
it, just surrender it. And when
I
I
like
first
that.
beginning started it, I would
Take
surrender
my
it maybe
ego. I don't
10
want it.
days.
I like
I
it.
don't want it. Take it. I don't want it. And then I have
Right.
my angels to make me be aware when I'm going into an ego state. Because, yeah, I mean, things bother me, and
Right.
I try to not to let them bother me. But the thing is having awareness. It's okay. It's okay for that second to realize something makes you angry or something hurts you. Your emotions are very important to realize that this doesn't serve you. So we're not going to stay there. We're going to recognize it, but we're not going to stay stuck in it and let that, get steamed up or whatever, and let
Right.
that create a law of attraction. But we want to
And that's the key.
recognize that.
Right.
That's
the key. I like what you said there again. You can basically have these feelings that, I mean, they're natural, but
They're natural.
don't dwell there.
Right.
If it's not good for you, don't dwell there. If it's not anything to do with love and positivity, don't dwell there. So that is important, and that's powerful.
It's very powerful.
Yeah.
And when you think about, because the number one person, the most important person, and then the number one person you should love is yourself.
Right.
Because if we're not 100%, we can't give 100%. So we really, and it's not being selfish. And I don't mean selfish taken away from others. This is a personal growth thing. And we have to make ourselves number one. And when we realize if we're in an ego or negative thought process or anything, we're not loving ourselves.
Right.
That's no self-love there.
Yes. And I see that I'm able to self-reflect on myself, of course, but I'm able to see that often that people, that a lot of people operate from the ego. They don't know any other way to operate. And
right.
Yes. And that's why I think, what you're talking about today is very important. And for those that it's meant to reach, it'll reach them. But it's another affirmation for me, another reminder for me to leave your ego at the door, check it in with your coat. And that's not where you want to be operating from. And yes,
absolutely. But some people, I believe, are older souls, like not that I'm pushing this on anybody, but anyone of a spiritual beliefs most likely believes in reincarnation and the soul never dies and it comes back. So sometimes people that really don't get it are probably young souls.
Right.
So we're expecting a 50-year-old person to get it when actually they're a baby. Their souls are baby.
Soul. I understand.
Their souls are baby. So
totally
they're not going to get it. So let's not get all caught up in someone who's older that's supposed to what we think they should behave or how they should act. And maybe we need to show them a little compassion,
No, I
and a
get
little
it. I can
understanding.
totally relate to that, and I am thankful that you're putting that out there. But as I've been expanding in my journey, I don't put people. I know I used to do that. I'll be the first to
Right.
admit I used to look at put things in boxes. Okay, this person is this age, they should know. But now that I'm more aware and more in flow and balanced, I don't. I take things as they are, and
Right.
I totally understand that just because somebody's a certain age, that they may not be awake and aware yet. Next time around, they
Hopefully
still have
next time
learning
around.
to do. They have to come back
Yes.
again.
Hopefully they will,
Right, right,
and we have to recognize we're always given opportunities all day long. We're given the
right,
opportunity to show compassion. We're given the opportunity to forgive. We're given the opportunity to, um, we're also given the opportunities to get angry. We're
right,
given these
right,
opportunities, and it's a choice. So we want to make sure we choose one that shows compassion, understanding, listening, the opportunity to listen, because not a lot of people listen.
right,
To listen to someone's got, maybe that person has a message for you
right,
that was sent by the angels or God or
right.
spirit.
Or to teach you
And so,
something about yourself, like you said. Yes,
right, exactly.
absolutely.
So it's really important that we listen to people talk,
Right,
and try to come to an understanding. Granted, there are some people we shouldn't listen to.
right, right,
We know some people we shouldn't listen to, but listen to them a little bit, then say, okay, I heard enough.
right. At the same time, I would like to add to that is we all have an opportunity. It's not just a chosen group. We all have an opportunity to be aware and to grow and not be
Yes,
stuck in a certain limited mindset that you know
right.
so um for
So
those
it's
that are
okay to
not,
change your right. It's okay to
yeah,
change your mind.
yeah, for those that are not, that's their decision that they've made, because everybody, I didn't just all of a sudden get tapped with anything that hasn't always been there, to start
Right.
listening to my inner self and source, or my inner soul, and start seeking answers that
Yeah.
no longer and question things that really didn't resonate with me, that I knew deep down inside that I need to dig and scratch a little bit deeper, and not be stopped because a book said don't question anything. No, wait a minute, that doesn't sit
Right.
right with me. Don't question anything. That doesn't
I,
sound right to me.
I'm really feeling you on that, because that's where I was
Right,
at a young age. Like this stuff that
right,
makes sense to me,
right,
and but we're taught this, that, and the other
right,
thing,
right.
and it's fine. I'm not putting anything down, but my
No,
thoughts
me
is,
neither.
if whatever you do takes you to a place of peace, is where you need to
You know
go.
what? And I've said this before in my other shows, but I say this too, and I'll just say this straight out. I grew up in a religious Christian family, so I never have anything to say about any religion. But I'll
Right.
say this to certain people that are curious about my mindset now. I
Mhm.
always tell them, no matter what, ask yourself. Now, you don't have to really answer me, because
Right.
you might answer me out of ego or whatever, but ask
Right.
yourself behind closed doors, if what you are believing, if what you are told, if what does it really bring you peace? And the way your life is unfolding, the way with your current consciousness and mindset, are you at peace with that? Are you genuinely at peace with that? And
Right.
if they are, more power to you. Proceed, do what you're going to do,
Right.
and that's what I say, to
Well,
people. So, yeah,
that's great advice, because we need more people at peace in the world, so
right,
the energies flow out,
right,
than people being angry and
right,
and the terrible things that are going on in our world today. But
right,
we have to more people to be at peace, more loving. We need this, more understanding, and let people, you know, be, it's very hard though in an ego world. Very, very
Yes.
hard.
Right.
Very hard.
Now, I was going to ask you, okay, now you talk to the angels, you talk to those that have passed. So if someone comes to you and asks you specifically to talk to someone, does that happen? Is that
All the time.
okay? And how
All
does
the
that,
time.
I don't really want to use the wrong words, but how does that
You can't
work?
use
How
the
does that
wrong.
unfold? How does that work?
Well, if someone who has crossed over or has passed is with them, they'll automatically speak to me, like, and I'll see them with them.
Right.
And most of the time when I have sessions with people, they want to hear that, and they want to hear from the angels, the tarot cards, because that
Right.
my most powerful part of me is connecting with the angels.
Right.
And I do that with angel tarot cards and archangel tarot cards, oracle cards, the regular tarot deck, everything. And there's never a bad card.
Right.
There isn't any, because even what someone might think it's a bad card or a disturbing card, I tell them, no, it's a good one, because it's letting you be aware
Right.
of what's going on so you can fix it. I mean,
Right.
I want to know if something's going on, and so I can fix it,
Yes, if I'm
or
headed down the wrong road, a one-way street, so I can turn around and go the right way.
exactly right. So
Right.
there's never a bad card, so
Right.
that no one should think of that. In fact, I love what are quote unquote, and then there aren't any bad cards, but I like these type of cards because
Right.
hopefully it awakens people, make them aware. I don't think they're bad cards at all. But if someone has passed, it's usually the first thing they do is I'll hear like an initial, like a J, and then
Right.
I'll hear like John or something. Like if the name comes out very, very clear, I'll say them, who's John? And most of the time their mouth drops, and I say, don't tell me anymore, so, and they'll, and what I see is like pictures, like they might show me, let's say a red shirt or a belt or a ring or anything, certain flowers or a cake, a birthday cake that I see and it's blue. And I'll tell them that, and they're really surprised, or something in their house
Right.
or
And
something
they'll
that
totally recognize what you're talking about.
exactly
Right.
what I'm recognized. And then they might have a message for them too.
Right.
They usually don't stay a very long time, but the person's very close to them that passes right off their right shoulder, and then
Right.
anybody else is a little bit distant from them. So there may be two people, but usually the one that's really close. So it could be a mother, it could be a father, it could be a brother, it could be a sister. And a lot of times they'll tell me how they died. Like I feel discomfort in my stomach or in my heart or my head. Sometimes I feel a crash, like they were in an accident,
Right.
so I'll see that or feel that. And that's I've never, and I'm not saying this to brag, and it sounds very ego, and I don't want to, but the angels are never wrong.
Right.
They're never ever wrong. And when I see these things, these visions of people past, it's never wrong. But that's because I'm in tune to that. And everybody can be in tune to that if they
Right.
want to,
Right.
that spiritual side of them. And when I first was doing this, like sometimes I doubt, should I say this? Should I say that? And I learned, just say it.
Right.
Even if it sounds off the wall or bizarre, just say
Right.
it. And
Yes.
the person gets it. They understand it. So, but we all have that. And once you get it, it's never ever wrong. Your wisdom, everybody has the gift of wisdom and
Right.
experience.
Intuitive abilities.
Intuitive.
Yes.
And
Right.
I could see that you tap into that wisdom. And
Right.
that
I do.
wisdom's never wrong. It's
Right.
never ever
Right.
wrong.
Right. I'm growing and learning more every day. And I'll be honest with you. This is part of the reason why I created this platform. Number one, to start a platform that would that would shine the light on extraordinary people like yourself. You call it spiritual self-empowerment, personal development, intuitiveness, whatever, just a place where you can come talk freely and people can come and listen. And even if they don't agree or don't understand at first, it's still planting those seeds in that subconscious mind. And
exactly right.
some kind of way it'll come back around,
Right.
especially, yes. So that's why I say I believe that everybody, if somebody does encounter this video, it's for a reason. And it's not because it's going to stop there. So they could watch the video and, oh, I don't believe in none of that. But the thing is, you came here and watched it. So
that's right.
There's something working in there. Number 2, to learn more myself, because I'm in a place where I'm open, and nothing anyone says at this particular point in my life is going to make me pessimistic and, oh no, that's crap. No, I'm right. Not in that mindset anymore, where if somebody could tell me, you could tell me that yesterday you flew for half a mile and came back, and I would just want to ask questions about it. I would not doubt it at all. If right. You're being sincere to me, then I just want to know, like, what right. feeling did you get? What happened before and after? How, wow, okay. So I'm open, and I am so thankful that finally, not finally, but I'm at this point in my journey where I am open and ready to receive,
Absolutely. It's so powerful because it comes from a place of love, and love makes you right. powerful. Love right. makes you strong. It doesn't make you weak. Right. Ego makes you weak because it doesn't exist. It's a choice. And right. ego and divine can't fit in the head at the same time. It's either one or the other.
Right. Right.
So either you're in a divine place or an ego place, because right. it just doesn't coexist with each other.
Yes.
One is real and one isn't.
Right.
And it's like, it's a choice.
Right. It is a choice. It certainly is. And the more that I connect with, the divine, the more uncomfortable it is to even, connect with the ego. So you're right. They can't live in the same place. Like love and hate can't live in the same place. Right. The more I flow with love and through love, the less I think about, anything bad about anyone. And, like you said, right. I just send them love and peace and
walk away
and don't even
right, move on.
Yeah, move on. It doesn't mean when you forgive people that you have to say, oh, come back into my circle. It doesn't mean that.
No.
But it just means that you don't allow what they've done, who they are, to control or bother you or to put any negative thoughts in your
right.
head anymore. Yeah. You're at peace now. Go in peace. Go in peace. And
right.
I wish you well.
Right. Exactly right. And you mentioned people understand forgiveness, but in reality, forgiveness is ego. Because in order to forgive, you have to find fault with them.
Right.
So
I
tell people God doesn't even forgive. And people think that's insane. I said, but he doesn't, because he loves unconditionally.
Right.
There's no need to forgive.
I've never heard that put it that way before. And that's amazing.
Right. And, and people say, well, you know what? Why does God punish me? Why is he doing this to me? And I say, but he isn't. He isn't punishing you. He's trying to, if you stay in the state of mind of ego or negative energy, God thinks you really like that. So because he loves you unconditionally, he's going to give you more of it. He doesn't know anything negative because he's egoless.
So basically you're punishing yourself.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Because if you have a child who's interested in art, you're going to put them in arts class. You're going to buy them art supplies. Well, God sees it. This is what you're interested in. You obviously like this because you're staying in this state of mind. So you're going to get more of it.
You like to talk like this. You like to act like this. You like to feel like this. So here you go.
Here's some more.
All God knows is yes.
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
I
And
hate this. Yes. I love
yes,
this. Yes.
yes,
I don't want this. Yes.
yes, right,
I want
right,
this. Yes.
yes.
Right. That's amazing.
So that's that's the people. And when I tell people this, they're like, oh, because they're taught to think that God punishes and
Right.
it's not like that. But
I
at the
still
same
have
time,
those close to me, dearest to me that still feel that way.
right.
But,
But at the same time, they're teaching that God loves unconditionally, but then he punishes. I mean, that doesn't
right.
make any sense to me.
No, I like what you said. And I have to repeat this again, that God does not forgive, doesn't have to, because he doesn't find fault in you.
Right.
And he's therefore no need to forgive. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing right there.
So I tell, people who know me, I don't forgive you because I don't find anything wrong with you. Just go ahead and do. I don't need to forgive anybody who's so-called. If someone did something wrong to me, and even in the past, the only reason why they did something wrong with me was because I thought they did something wrong to me.
Right. They were being exactly who they were supposed to be.
Exactly right.
Exactly
right.
To be honest with you, yes. Everybody is being who they are.
Right.
And it's really no mistake. It's
right.
who they are. Now, whether you evolve and grow and become a higher, vibration and working on a higher vibration, that's up to you. But everybody's operating from where they're supposed to operate from. So I get it in that aspect. That's what I'm saying when I informed you that I'm in a place of just openness. I can understand various perspectives without I can, not saying I accept everything, but I will at least give it a chance and listen. I don't just cut things off. Sometimes I'm not ready for it. Certain things from the level of consciousness I'm on right now, I may not be ready, but at least I'm open to listen and to receive it and to let it swirl around in there for a while, and then maybe
right exactly.
Yes.
If it makes sense to you, then go with it, because you have at that moment that has to make sense to you in order to get to the next step.
Right.
So they're like steps. So all right, so this is step one. This makes sense to me. Okay, all right, cool. And then you hear something else, and you go, well, I don't know about that. That means you got to go back to the last thing that made sense to you. Right. And swivel that around your head a little bit, and then the next thing, then the next thing, then the next thing. There's a book called Course in Miracles. I don't know if you ever read it.
It's called what?
Called A Course in Miracles.
A Course in Miracles. And who is that by?
It's, you know what? I can't think off the top of my head, but I have the book.
Okay.
It's a course. It's in miracles.
In miracles.
Right. When I first read this book, I would read a couple sentences or a paragraph, and I had to close the book because I had to think and absorb what it was saying to me. It's a very powerful, powerful book.
Right. I'm finding it right now. Okay, go ahead.
It teaches you to be fearless, and no one can be stupidly fearless. They're spiritually fearless, taking a chance. I mean, there were times 3 times in my life where I quit a job on Friday, not having a new job, and come Monday I started a new job.
Right. So yes. And people will consider that a miracle.
Right, a miracle. But here, what you had to do is say, you know what, I'm sick and tired of this job. It's not doing anything for me. I don't like this. So when you put an end to something and take that leap of faith that something better is coming along, it's exactly what happens.
This one says A Course in Miracles, and it's by the hold on. It's the author says The Foundation for Inner Peace.
Yes.
Wow. Yes, I'm going to look this book up. Okay. Originally published in 1995. Okay. The genre is spirituality, new age, self-help. Okay. A Course in Miracles.
A Course in Miracles. It's a powerful, powerful book. And like
Okay.
I would read one sentence or a paragraph and I had to close the book. And I was a little upset about that because I wanted to read more, but I couldn't read anymore because I had to ponder what I just read. I had to absorb that in.
That's when you know you got a good book.
Yeah, it's when you know you got a good book. So
Oh yeah.
So it's something, I recommend for everybody to go ahead and read. Now, some people, they're not going to get it. They're
Right.
just not there yet. But other people will get it. I mean, I did nothing but with the highlighter and highlighted almost the whole book,
Right.
But it's something it's a powerful thing.
Right. I'm ordering it right now. Now, did you get the hard copy or a paperback?
Either or. I have the hard copy, but
yes, I love hard copy books.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I'm ordering it right now. Yes. So this is what it looks like here.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm ordering that right now here
Yeah.
on Amazon. So by noon.
And you have to let me know, how you think of the book and when you begin to read it but it's almost like God talking to you. Because it makes sense and it's a very loving way and it really kicks butt, like it kicks you to where you need to be. It talks about the ego and love and all these wonderful things, and getting the concept that God doesn't forgive and things like that. It just throws this stuff at you and it really makes you very powerful.
Okay. Place your order. I just placed my order. I have it. Yes, I just order placed. So yeah, I got the book coming. Yeah, thank you for the suggestion. I love reading. So yeah, that right there. I went on ahead and then there's another one, A Course in Miracles Combined Volume by Helen Schuckman. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just ordered this other the regular one.
Right.
Yeah. So I got it coming to me. It'll be here Friday.
Yeah. You have to let me know what you think of it and your experiences throughout the book. I would like to know what you think about it.
Right. So
which is really good.
How did you come onto that book? How?
I'm certified in angel therapy. I'm certified in mindfulness. I'm certified in holistic, healing. And so through my studies and all, I would hear people talk about, I also used to, but he's passed, Dr. Wayne Dyer was someone who was very powerful. Yes. Really powerful. And he mentions about the book, Course in Miracles and things like that, and different authors and all that he talks about. And I used to do a lot of traveling for work, and I get all the books on the CDs. Although there's no CDs anymore, but I would have this whole case of CDs, and I pop it in my car.
CDs.
Yeah,
I'm still. I still like tangible. I mean, it's amazing. Not to cut you off, I apologize. No. It's amazing how we can just download things now, and I think it's cool. But I still like to hold things and play and put them inside of a player and play it. So I'm still like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like to hold a book in my hand,
absolutely.
Not the Kindle.
There's so many people that tell me to get the Kindle versions, and I go, no, I want the book that I can put on my shelf and look at it and pick it up and put a highlighter in it. Yes, I like that. I like bookshelves. Well, I get excited when I see bookshelves in people's homes too. When I just look and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, man, I'm just looking at your bookshelf. I love it. It just puts me in a different place. Like I know there's so much wisdom amongst those books. And there's so much people are put, even people that aren't here anymore, have poured their lives out, into those books and did what they thought was the best and brought their best into that book. So yeah.
Or their wisdom I think writing a book takes a lot from someone.
Oh, it does. Yeah. Right.
and to put your thoughts into words is something totally amazing. And
to be able to organize it in the right format, I think
yeah,
that's work. That's why I can understand.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate book, but when I used to travel, I would get the books on CD, the audio books.
Right. On
If I was
CD.
really into a book, so I'm driving for hours, and I can listen to the book,
Right.
or get it and read. So a lot of like the Wayne Dyer books, and all I had on the CDs. I still have them somewhere. I don't know. I put them away,
Right.
but and some I bought where I can sit down and read it when I'm in a quiet place, and just sit down and read, whether it's in bed or in my living room, wherever, or outside, that I would have a quiet place to read.
Right.
And so it's different. So for anybody to say, well, I don't have time to read, I'm thinking, no, put a CD in your car, or whatever you do, listen to
Yes,
an
that right
audio.
there is really utilizing your time wisely right there when you're driving for long periods or traveling
Yeah.
for long periods, and you're able to listen to something like that.
Yeah.
I think,
And most of the time it's the author who's reading their own book.
right.
So you hear their actual voice.
Yes.
And
the actual author's always going to give it the best energy because they wrote it. Yes.
Absolutely. So you can really feel the energy from the author on audiobook. So, whatever somebody's into, if you really want to get to a higher consciousness or higher energy level, then, you got to tap into the masters who knew what they were talking about,
Exactly. Well,
whatever. And you can search it. I mean, just go on. I love YouTube. So
yes,
go on YouTube and just put in spirituality or angels and see what comes up. And then listen to this person, that person, and whoever makes sense to you. Then explore them a little bit more, because they probably have a message for you that makes sense or connects to you.
That's how I started my journey. Back in 2000, I'd say 16, when I started my transformation, is I started Googling things, to find answers. And then when you take that step, Cindy, and things will open up. You don't have to know. The next step will keep revealing itself. Once you take that initial step and get out your own way, start listening to that, within. Connect with love, like you said, things will just start opening up. You don't have to, okay, where do I go next? No, things will start revealing itself.
You'll know exactly. But when I was taking the steps to become a Reiki master, the very first class, I'm like, I don't want to wait for the next level 2. Like I want to take this tomorrow, because I had this. I get level 1, but there you had to wait, for each one. And then, but I wanted it all at once. I wanted all the knowledge, but
you were excited.
And
excited. You found something you found something that touched you in a certain way, and you were excited. You were ready.
I was ready. Yeah, I wanted the next level. I wanted to know more. Know, and that's true. Like you said, that's with everybody. The doors just open up, and you were able to. And if you want to take classes and you feel you can't afford it, but you can afford it. You have the money.
There's knowledge out there. There's ways for you to get it.
It'll come to you. If you want this, the money will come to you somehow.
You'll manifest the money to get it, especially, right. Mm-hmm.
You'll get some overtime at work, or somebody will give you a gift, or maybe you'll win the lottery. I don't know, but something will come to you, and you will have, because that always happens to me. Whenever I wanted to take a class or whatever, the money was always there. So you don't have to worry about that, having to do it.
Well, I just want to thank you so much, Cindy, for sharing your wonderful insight. And I wanted to say that whatever links that you want me to attach to this video, I think you sent them to me. But just while we're here, how can people find you? Website, anything special that people can click on to?
Well, my website is cindyshealing.com.
Cindyshealing.com.
Right. That's Cindy's with an S at the end, healing.com. Very simple. And there's every day I on the homepage, I put quotes and messages, refresh it every day. There's um, the number, angel number for the day, and
Right.
tarot card for the day. So that's there. And then everything gets pretty much updated every month and things like that. So they can go there to get that, or to contact me, or just throw me some love, send me a message and throw me some love. I appreciate that too. Or on Facebook. I'm on Facebook as well. So they can connect me through there. And the links are on my website.
Yes, and the links that you sent me, I'm going to make sure that I incorporate them into the description once this video is uploaded within the next week or two. So I'm excited for it to go live.
Oh, I'm excited too. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
No, and I appreciate you giving me, a reason and to have this show. I mean, because without you, I won't have a show. I'll just be sitting here talking to myself.
Well, so, without you, I wouldn't have a thing to say to other people. So we work together.
But yeah, you have so much insight and clarity and just heartfelt, just energy and just everything that needs to be out there. And that's why I know, just to share with you, I know that I found, my purpose, which is to do things like this, because this right here brings me unparalleled just happiness, just talking to people and just learning. I mean, you can't even put a price on that. So it just enhances my my life, the quality of my life, just talking to people. And then it's a win-win, because then I'm sharing this with people and helping other people. So it's amazing.
Exactly right. You're putting the love out there, and that's a wonderful thing. That's really a wonderful thing. And for you to contact people and get to know people and bring them on and spread the love, put the information out there. I think you are a blessing. So, and I respect you and honor you for that.
The feeling is mutual. And I thank you again that when I reached out to you, that you're so accepting to give this a chance. And I'm glad you did. I'm thankful that you're spending a moment of your time in life, here. This will always be solidified too, right here. Well, 100 years from now, people are going to look back and see this.
Right, exactly. And we got the West Coast and the East Coast coming together. So we got to share all that love in between the East and the West, right?
Right, exactly.
And where you are, where I am.
Beautiful. And that's another thing I got to say again. I mean, I know we can go all day, but this technology, I focus on the good. It's amazing. I'm able to talk to people that I, in under different circumstances, I would have never crossed your path or never probably, talk to you like this. And because of this technology, oh my God, we get to, connect and you can be over there and I'm here, and wow, we're still putting out powerful energy nonetheless. Absolutely. No matter, even if you're over there and I'm here, it's beautiful. And I'm thankful. So before we go, we conclude the segment, do you have any last final thoughts that you would like to put out there, that you'd like to say?
Let it go.
Let it go. Right.
Let it go.
That's powerful.
Just let it go. It's really not important.
Right.
It's not important at all.
Right.
Not at all. So people learn to. Absolutely.
Amazing. Thank you, Cindy. And
I send you lots of love.
And you too.
Kisses and hugs.
Yes.
And definitely wish you namaste.
Yes. Love and appreciation to you. And just thank you for enhancing my life and just
likewise
making my day even more blessed than it already is. Thank you very much. And I'll see you soon. I will contact you and send you a message once this is uploaded. And
wonderful. Thank you. And I'll definitely share it.
Yes.
I'll share. It'll be on my website too.
Absolutely. And thank you everybody for watching. I'm sure, I already know you're going to appreciate this as much as I have here on an Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. Thank you everybody. Love and appreciation. Thank you. See you soon.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.